10 years ago that the person who plays Bella Swan is going to be starring in a pulpy lesbian action movie.
Hi, it's Ray. Welcome to the Republic.
So today we're going to be talking about Rose Glass's Love Lies Bleeding, which stars Katie O'Brien and Kristen Stewart. Now, I didn't know who Katie was before this movie, but after this absolutely exhilarating performance, I'm already looking forward to the next time she's going to be on my screens. That is not to say that Kristen Stewart didn't put in one hell of a performance as well. Her screen presence was fierce, and yeah, Katie didn't just rival it though. Like, she matches up and complements it, and it was just really well done. If you told me 10 years ago that the person who plays Bella Swan is going to be starring in a pulpy lesbian action movie and be responsible for the humor in a scene because of her line delivery, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what timeline you're from, but I don't think I'm gonna be in that same timeline because that sounds fucking wild. But here we are in this timeline, so you know, you win some, you lose some. You win Kristen Stewart being a queer superstar, you lose out on reasonable grocery prices in Ontario. This is the timeline I live in now. Talk cinematography. This film has a lot of handheld shots, a lot of actiony stuff, handheld shots. I say this because this is how I imagine the camera goes whenever I see a handheld shot on screen. What stands out about the cinematography in this film is that it has the very rare 10% of handheld shots that I could stomach. See, personal preference, I really don't like handheld shots. Like, as a filmmaker, as a film person, as a filmmaker, I can see it, I don't like it, it's not done well, it frustrates me, it takes me out of the movie. It's just that then in my head I start discounting it from like the visual language for the rest of the film. But for this film, it actually incorporated it really well. The film also had a lot of wide shots that emphasized the loneliness and dysfunction of the small town that the film is based in, and they definitely nailed that late 80s, early 90s aesthetic with the lighting for the interior scenes. If I may, I think the seamlessness in the visual language for this film has a lot more to do with editing than the cinematography. Yes, no cut in this film was longer than it needs to be or too quick for us to absorb any information. Like, a lot more to do with that than shot choices, framing, and even the not lousy handheld shots that I have mentioned. There is a Franco brother with a terrible close-up in this film. Or rather, his fate is the subject of this terrible close-up. But the cut stood out especially to me because it was just like, it was quick, but it wasn't too quick for you to not understand what just happened. It was just the right enough of quick for you to absorb the information, take in that emotional hit, and for them to move on with the rest of the story. In a pulpy action movie like this, pacing is so important because you don't want the audience to feel bored. You don't want them to feel like they're ahead of the game, but you want them to be on the edge of their seats the entire time. But like in a way that like makes them feel like, oh my gosh, was that 2 hours? Wow. Not like, at no point was I just like, what? Can we move on? Or wait, what just happened? None of that. I feel like for an action film that has so many beats, like it's less likely to bore you, but more likely to fall into the trap of having way too many quick cuts, and you don't take in the information as the audience quickly enough to like, and then piece everything together, or like before you absorb the action of the scene, they've already moved on to the next one. I did not feel that with this film. I feel like for Rose Glass, she actually sidestepped that trope for action films. So again, credit where credit is due. It was very dramatic. I was never bored watching this movie. It's like a modern Western on acid. It was trippy AF. And it's told in a non-linear fashion, introduces Katie O'Brien's Jackie meeting Kristen Stewart's Lou in the small town that Lou lives in. The first time we see the pair together, we see Jackie introduce herself and mention that she's a bodybuilder. And Lou just goes, "Here, look at the box of steroids I just happen to have in the gym for free." You should take it because I like you and think you're hot. And Jackie goes, wow, gee whiz, thanks. Perhaps I shall try this free box of steroids this person who I've just met for the first time ever is offering me. I shall take it. Oh, God, you're cute. We should bang. Spoiler alert, they bang. And throughout the rest of the film, Jackie kind of just has this new issue with the drug use. And throughout the rest of the film, this issue with the steroid use and the fact that Lou was the one who introduced and initially hesitant Jackie to it recurs throughout the film. This way of introducing it from the get-go, that these two are going to get really, really high on love. Steroids, bracket drugs, equals love. That's the equation I'm going to go with. Steroids represents the love that they share. It's a metaphor, I guess. We see Lou's affections and acceptance as Jackie bulks up the train and thinking she's fucking beautiful in the process. Like, it's like she's getting jacked up on Lou's love and steroids. They then become interchangeable in the same sentence. We see Jackie absolutely lose it when beat up Lou's awful brother-in-law, Franco brother, because she can't stand to see Lou that upset. This film at its core, really, despite the violence, the action, the fighting, the blood, the murder, the plotting, it really is a love story. And God, do I love it for that. I love that it's just a love story about these two star-crossed lovebirds trying to fight the odds of their circumstances. Oh boy, they just wanted to bang, but the odds are against them. It's us against the world, my love, says nobody in this movie, but that's the vibe you get. I love that it's just a love story about these two lovebirds trying to figure out how to be together. And isn't that a tale as old as time? I love that it's gritty and bloody, and at the core of it is two women eating each other out with the gusto of a kid having candy for the first time in a week. Oh, God. Freaking kudos to the direction of those scenes. It is so hard to find a film screening in cinemas with sex portrayed between two women that isn't shot to be male-gazy. And I just really want to give props to the direction and approach of these sex scenes between Jackie and I just love that it's a regular dramatic film centered around a couple that just so happens to be gay. Yes to more queer relationships just being fucking relationships on screen. Yes to a future where queer relationships can be featured just as much as hetero ones. I want to go to the cinemas and see that the movie posters out there have just as many queer couples as hetero ones. I want to see more women making out with each other on movie posters. I also want better design and better photograph movie posters, but I guess I'm just asking for a lot right now. I want a future like that. I want a future where nobody bats an eye what the gender is of the two people having a love story. It's films like that that will pave that future. And I thank you, Rose Glass, for giving me just a little bit of hope. Two little grabs about the writing. Number one, first shot of Kristen Stewart in the movie was her unclogging the gym toilet. Literally going through shit. I am talking plunging with your hands through a gross, dirty gym toilet from the 80s. Yeah. That is how the director have chosen to introduce her protagonist. And then for the rest of the movie, we see her go through more shit, metaphorical this time, but shit nonetheless, mind you. And the movie ends with her driving her girlfriend, who's taking a nap, because, you know, they've both been through a lot. It's been a crazy couple days. But, Lou can't catch a break. Not only is she the one driving, she has to be the one to end up dealing with the final problem that they have at the back of their truck. That is how the movie ends. The movie literally ends with Lou clearing up more shit for other people. Like, they say good writing is when the protagonist learns some lessons and is fundamentally changed by the end of the film. That is not what happens here with Lou. I feel like we ran out of time to address her well-being. Like, by the end of the movie, we kind of know everybody's fate. Even Jackie, like, you're like, you know, she's absconding with her lover. But for Lou, the fact that we ended the movie with her clearing up more shit, kind of like the way it started, it just makes me wonder. It's just like,
I can't even argue that she didn't do it alone, because she did. Because her girlfriend was freaking sleeping in the truck while she had to like clean up the last final. Yeah, and I'm just like, I hope she's okay, you know? But I would never know, because that's where the movie ended. I would never know.
It'd be great. Aforementioned ending. Look, I get it. It's a movie about drugs. Well, it's a movie on drugs. And even if I were to follow my previously established metaphor of love being drugs and drugs being love, the fever dream moment at the end, it really is just the freaking cherry on top of asking me to suspend all of my disbelief. You know the scene I'm talking about, the scene where Jackie becomes huge, and it's not just an illusion because Ed Harris's character dies. I was just like, what the fuck? When I was watching this in the theaters, like, that is a swing in the left field that I did not see coming in. Frankly, I thought it was very stark in an otherwise very tightly put together film. I did not like that. Yes, love conquers all. They're so high on love that they became huge. They can do anything. Fine. But I don't like it. I felt like this film was very well put together until this second. So why, Rose? Why do we have this random injection of surrealism into the film so last minute? It was such a stark change in visuals, in tone, in just, yeah, and I was just sitting there honestly being, what the fuck? The only way I can kind of like spin it is that maybe that is the point in where you are so high from watching this movie that you just go like, oh my god, this is not real. But I can't get behind it. I get it, it's your film, you can do whatever you want, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it is something that I'll revisit down the line over the years. Just a wee recommendation. If you're looking for a double bill with this movie, may I recommend Park Chan-wook's The Handmaiden, which is also about two lesbians in cahoots. So yeah, let me know if you like this film. Let me know if you agree with anything I said or disagree. Yeah. See you next time on The Republic. Bye!